All right, welcome back, good people. On this video, I'm going to talk about understanding self. That's one of my favorite things to do. Always analyzing self. Always identifying what makes me tick. Where do I feel about certain things? Where is my mind on certain topics, right? Because one of the things that we can control is self. Let me rephrase that. The only thing that we can control is self. But many of us have a hard time controlling self, right? You have to understand why you do certain things, or how to stop doing certain things, or how to start doing certain things. Let's say you're a procrastinator. Let's say you always talk about what you're going to do, but you never do it, right? Or you wait to the last minute to try to even do it, right? Those people, they're procrastinators for a reason. Most are self-identified procrastinators because they know that about themselves. So let me ask this question. If a person knows that about themselves and they tell you that, why would you incorporate that into your system? Other than just friends, we can be friends now. But if you're going to do something from a business perspective, can you really count on those people? Those people say with their mouth, we speak things into existence, right? They say, I'm a procrastinator. And what am I supposed to say? Well, welcome aboard. Not in my world. No. And not in your world either if you want results. Because in order to get results, you must follow through on what you say you're going to do, right? Now, with that beginning like that, I'm going to go right into understanding self, because I did some research this week that I had to share with you guys about this, because I'm really big on personal development. You know that already. So I always want to share anything that has to do or that's in line with helping you understand why you do the things you do, or why you act the way you act. Because I don't know you, but sometimes when you hear certain things, you will know if that's you or not, right? You'll be able to identify or disengage you, or it may just pull on your shirt and say, wait, that's you right there. Okay, it says, understanding self. A person's self-concept is their understanding of who they are and what makes them unique. This can include the physical self, the social self, the competent self, and the inner or psychological self. Meanwhile, a person's self-understanding is about knowing what motivates his or her actions. Keep that little phrase together, his or her actions, because the next video I'm going to talk about has to do with actions, because I believe in taking action, because I also believe that's the only way to get results. You can talk about it all day long, but if you take no action, you get no results. Simple enough, right? All right, continuing on. Self-awareness is important because when we have a better understanding of ourselves, we are able to experience ourselves as unique and separate individuals, which we are. Unique and separate. Do not lump this person in with that person. We are unique and separate. It also says we are then empowered to make changes and to build on our areas of strength, as well as identify areas where we would like to make improvements. Self-concept, picture or perceptions of ourselves. Self-esteem, feelings we have about ourselves. Self-ideal, the way we would like to be. Let me reread that. Self-concept, pictures or perceptions of ourselves. Self-esteem, feelings we have about ourselves. Self-ideal, the way we look to be. In other words, we're projecting what we want to become one day, right? Now, how is self-concept built or destroyed? To build self-concept, we find a good role model. We praise and compliment. We focus on the positive. We keep criticism to a minimum. And we set goals and achieve those goals. Now, to destroy that self-concept, we compare ourselves to others. Destroy you. It will destroy you. Next, putting yourself down will destroy you. And third, drug abuse will destroy you. You know that. You know people who that has happened to, right? So you have to control all that. All that is looking within. All that is asking you why you do that, why you want to do that, why can't you stop doing that, right? Because once it gets to a certain level, it's no longer you wanting to do it. Sometimes it becomes a habit. It becomes an addiction. There are good habits and there are bad habits, right? Just like, there are things you do on a regular basis that are good, that are beneficial, but they may be so habit forming that you become obsessed with them, right? Have you ever heard of people who are what they call anal, or what they call germaphobe? They can't stand dirt, or they everything has to be in a certain place at a certain angle and this and that. See, that's a little obsessive right there. That's, in my opinion, right? That's a little obsessive, and it's kind of hard for those personalities to blend with others, right? But it's not impossible, because there are other people like that. So let me give you some tips for building self-esteem. One of the tips for building self-esteem is to identify with people, books, videos, television shows, etc. that build your self-esteem. That's an excellent way right there. Another way is to build others. Give sincere compliments often. When you see someone do something well, congratulate them, right? Or tell them they did a great job. Don't just go by and say, well, I don't know that person, so I don't have anything to say, right? Because you can always enlighten or help someone else. Next, think positively. These are things to build your self-esteem. Think positively. Next, do something challenging each day. Look your best. Do something for someone else. Learn a new skill. Observe self-concept people. Handle things one at a time. Use criticism constructively. Allow personal growth each day. You have to do that each day. Allow a little time each day that you want to focus on personal growth. What did I learn today? You can post self-improvement reminders, right? Like, little quotes or things like that help you to remember to stay on that path, right? I have a process where I do things ritualistically, I guess you'll say. When I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is get on my knees and pray. Then I'll go and listen to meditation for 5 minutes. And then I'll prepare to go to the gym for 30 minutes, right? Or 45 minutes, 30 minutes elliptic machine, and 15 minutes of weights. But that's 5 days per week. So that's a system that I have in place that I'm committed to, right? And I believe that helps to keep me grounded, keeps me focused, and keeps me structured, because I'm a very structured person already. But it's once you start to grow, I'm going to say this about growth too. Once you start to grow, and this is from specifically for self-esteem, for your self-esteem, you're going to be liked. People are going to like you. People are going to want to be around you, right? People are going to want to give you things. You have to be able to say, well, no, I don't want that, or, okay, I'll take that. Or you have to be able to regulate that, because you can get too much, right? People can give you too much and require too much of your time. And when that happens, then you're on another path, because you're starting to dance to a different drummer, if you will, right? You're no longer focused on what you want to do and get done. You're liking and enjoying what you're receiving. And that's good to like and enjoy that, don't get me wrong. But you have to have a balance. You have to have a limit. Okay? Now, continuing on. Do not say negative things about yourself. Reward yourself often. List your accomplishments each day. And finally, volunteer to share your skills with others. And one of the best ways to do that is to speak about what you do, right? And if you do that enough, people will start to pay to come and listen to you, or have you come and speak to their audience, right? Last segment on this, if you ever been to kindergarten, you probably heard the 5 senses: seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting. You probably didn't learn about proprioception, which is just a fancy way of saying your ability to be aware of your body's motions and position. All of these senses give us information or sensations, which our brains have to interpretate the perception. So when you get when your senses are given the information, that's a sensation, which our brains have to interpret, which is the perception. The senses gets their messages to the brain through a process called transduction, or transforming information from the eyes or ears, for example, into electrical impulses that the brain can understand. Though each sense works a little differently to do this, psychologists have developed principles to describe overarching ways in which the body deals with sensations and perceptions. So, as you see and hear things, according to your DNA or the dynamics of your system, you react differently. You can, so in other words, you can be led a lot easier than, say, this person who can't be led really easily. They got their own way of doing things, and it's hard to penetrate that, right? Good or bad, sometimes that's the case. So, if you want to learn, though, you have to be open to learning. Because, see, learning isn't teaching. Learning is receiving. It's getting the information, right? Teaching is giving, sharing that information. That's how that works. So if I go to a class or a seminar to learn something, I'm not giving too much, right? I may have some answers from time to time, but I'm absorbing, if you will, right? That's what I want to take away, what I can learn, so that I can share that later, right? But I have to know it first to be able to share it with any type of consistency or any type of knowledge, I'll say, right? Okay, that's my video on understanding self. Always work on self. That is the key to happiness. Work on self. Not money, not free time, not good health. It's understanding self. When you understand self, you work out, you manage your time. You don't let people waste your time. You stay focused on what direction you want to go. You put things in perspective, in an order. Health being number one. Always remember, your first wealth is your health. Once your health goes, everything else falls secondary, right? So you want to maintain that, right? Maintain your health. Work on that. And you can do that slowly. You don't have to do all that in 1 month or 1 year. You can do it slowly, but you need to do it. That's what we have to do. All right. My name is Larry James. My company is Speaker Larry. My website is speakerlarry.com, and my blog is speakerlarry.blog. Check it out.